You are now listening to Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
Welcome to the Playbook, your ultimate game plan for college sports. 5 guys who live and breathe the game are here to break down the biggest plays, the hottest takes, and the boldest predictions, bringing you segments like The Kickoff.
Jalen Walker, I think, in my personal opinion, could wind up being the very best.
And introducing 3 new segments like the Peach Slate, talking all things Georgia.
Walk the Line, breaking down the crucial overs and unders of the weekend.
And Playbook Picks, where we make our predictions for this weekend's games.
And to end it all off, a signature segment of Who's That Campus Legend.
The first hint is this player went to UNC.
It's obviously Drake May.
Dude, it's Michael Jordan.
This is The Playbook on Wolf Sports Network.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 3 of The Playbook. And if you are listening on wolfsportsnetwork.com, you may be thinking, JT's voice sounds a little bit deeper. And if you're watching on YouTube, you may be thinking, JT usually don't wear a hat. Maybe he grew a beard. Or you know what? Maybe the biggest difference is JT may have lost a few pounds. But your ears and eyes do not deceive you. I'm your host today, Brandon Dyer, and today we have a very special episode for you, and I want to introduce these guys the only way that I really know how to, so if you'll give me a second real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the listeners of all ages, Wolf Sports Network proudly presents to you the greatest college football radio show in the world! The president of the Parker Navarro fan club, Aiden Avey. The Hispanic Titanic, Jackson Falls. The Joester, Joey Prater. Your host, Brandon Dyer. And this is The Playbook. Aiden, let's kick off this show. All right, everybody in here, are you ready for the kickoff? I said, are you ready for the kickoff? So, I mentioned us bringing out all the stops in that intro, and I'm going to bring up a game that didn't see what seemed like almost any stops at all. Joey, Teddy Roosevelt, tell me a little bit about this Texas A&M Notre Dame game that happened over the weekend.
I'm still coming back from that. Holy crap.
I can't keep it together.
Nope. Sorry. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. It was a very interesting game, and to say the least, at least. I don't know. That game just seemed so much ref interference, actually, or lack thereof, with some of the calls that were not said. I saw about 4 pass interference calls that did not get called either way.
I got you. So I want to talk about how Notre Dame was able to establish early control in this game. By first possession, first punt that Texas A&M had, they wound up blocking it and returning it for a touchdown. They got an interception on their on Texas A&M's third possession. So Texas A&M establishes early control. They build a 17-7 lead. But then the second quarter happens, and y'all, this Texas A&M team came to fight, and they showed it in that second quarter. They wound up scoring 21 points. So we go into halftime. It's 28-3, and that's not a final score, y'all. This is halftime. Let me show you some of these stats that some of these players are putting up at halftime. Texas A&M receiver Mario Craver. 173 receiving yards in that first half. Notre Dame allowed 258 passing yards in that first half, and C.J. Carr and Marcel Reed combined for over 400 yards of offense in that first half alone. And you think the stage was set for this to be a real high, offensively dominated game. But no, I don't know what those coaches told the defenses at halftime, but it worked apparently because there was only 10 combined points scored between the two of them in the third quarter, which set us up for a 31-31 tie going into the fourth. And Texas A&M, Notre Dame both have their opportunities in the fourth quarter. Texas A&M winds up going down on 4th and goal, down 40 to 34 because Notre Dame scores and they missed the point after touchdown. So Notre Dame goes up 40 to 34, and then Texas A&M drives down the field. Marcel Reed throws an absolute dot with 19 seconds left, and Texas A&M makes their point after touchdown, and they wind up winning this game. So, y'all, what do we think of Texas A&M in the mix of this SEC race? And what do we think of Notre Dame now still being ranked number 24 despite being 0-2?
This Notre Dame team definitely deserves to be ranked, I believe. This game, they could have won it if they made the PAT, went in overtime. Who knows what happens? This is a game that hinges on a mixed extra point. Other losses on the road at – who'd they play? I'm blanking on it. LSU?
No, Miami.
Miami,
Yeah. They lost to
Sorry,
Miami.
I
in
was
the
getting them
opening game.
confused with LSU for some reason. Notre Dame's
I thought you were
only
talking about Clemson. We'll get to them later.
Yeah, only losses to Miami and a point after attempt to Texas A&M. This is still a very good team. That's 2 top 10 losses where they were in both games for the full time.
I mean, you look alongside this. You brought up the SEC race and how Texas A&M can fit into that. You still have guys, or you still have teams like LSU who have been on a consistent pace. I think it matters about a consistent pace throughout the entire season. I mean, I looked at this Texas A&M and Notre Dame game last week, and Mario Craver was looking like prime Texas A&M Mike Evans out there. I mean, seven catches for 207 yards is absolutely insane. And as Aiden mentioned, I mean, it came down to the little tiniest moments when it come to the muff PAT punt and all the missed tackles and a bunch of special teams play. And that was special teams, special plays, and definitely some special players like Mario Craver out there for Texas A&M. So I feel like I need to see a little bit more out of Texas A&M. I love what they did in the later half of the game versus Notre Dame. A really strong Notre Dame defense, but I need to see a little bit more out of Texas A&M to kind of push them as contenders in the SEC.
So now let's backtrack. You mentioned LSU in the mix of the teams atop the SEC.
Yeah.
Aiden,
Yeah.
tell me about this LSU-Florida game down there in Gainesville.
All right, so this LSU-Florida game, this one hinged all on the play of DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway got a little confused with which jerseys were his at times. He was 33 for 49 still, but he had 5 picks to go with his 1 touchdown and 287 yards. You can't throw 5 interceptions and beat the number 3 team in the country. It's not a formula that works out for you.
Well, now I'm glad you mentioned this LSU offense because this LSU offense was absolutely dreadful in this game. This team wound up with 10 first downs. Like LSU realistically had 10 possessions where they could walk away with points. And in those 10 possessions, they wound up with 10 first downs, like 1 first down per drive. They didn't have a drive that was longer than 6 plays. I think of those 10 drives, I think 6 of them wound up being 6 plays or less.
Yep.
So they were not able to move the ball at all against Florida. And I think it shows a lot about Florida's defense. But now this LSU offense, this was supposed to be one of the most prominent offenses in all of college football, not even in the SEC, with Garrett Nussmeier returning and having a really good ground game, going out and having some receivers out there to make some plays for this offense. Now, what do we make of them in this SEC race as well now?
I still believe in this LSU team. You say they struggled getting first downs. They still had they still produced 220 passing yards, 93 rushing yards. It's not the end of the world. On the road at Florida, it's not great, but you can win a game. They showed they could. They did need 5 turnovers to get there, but I think the offense will come into its own and get it. Be able to compete in the SEC. I don't know if they'll get it done, but. Yeah.
Look, I saw that post-game press conference with Brian Kelly, and one of the reporters asking him, what were your thoughts in this game? You came out with a win with a very, very small margin. He's like, we're there to play the game, and we're there to win the game. But you also got to look at the little pieces that you need to improve on. I think it's just a down game for LSU. I don't necessarily think it has a huge impact on their SEC contention. But, Garrett Nussmeier, again, as I said, is my early Heisman candidate, Heisman winner.
Always.
So
if you haven't met Jackson has 10 Heisman favorites right
a week.
No, it's just it's Garrett Nussmeier. But I think it's just a down game for them, and obviously Florida has struggled both offensively and defensively. I mean, DJ laid the ball away with 5 interceptions. So I think it was just sloppy performance from both sides. But I think LSU is more reluctant to bounce back.
So I'm glad you mentioned some of the bad things that Florida did as well.
Yeah.
Because some would say Billy Napier is on the hot seat. And speaking of the hot seat, Jackson, I know we just had 2 coaches fired in college football, first 2 fires of the season, in Brent Pry and Deshaun Foster over there at UCLA and Brent Pry over there at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Which one of these teams do you think can bounce back, or do you think any of them can?
Look, when it comes to Brent Pry and the ACC, you need a good, strong head coach at leading your team. For an ACC, you have teams like Clemson, Georgia Tech, Miami, Florida State. I mean, Virginia Tech hasn't contended for the ACC in a very, very hot minute.
Since Frank Beamer,
I'm glad.
Under Brent Pry, they had one solid season a couple years ago, going 7-6, and then beating Tulane in the Military Bowl a couple years ago. So, I mean, Virginia Tech. Then you transfer over to you said UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA started off the season 0-3, and there was a lot of quarterback speculation with Nico Iamaleava coming in after the whole Tennessee fallout. So, and also, by the way, I do want to bring up with this UCLA team that Nico Iamaleava has a 30-day period to transfer out of UCLA right now. Started a couple days ago after the Sean Foster firing. Who do I think is going to bounce back more? I think, well, you have UCLA in the Big Ten, Virginia Tech in the ACC. I don't really see necessarily a bounce back. I see more of a rebuild. So, I think it's a tricky situation for both colleges.
Because, again, both teams are coming off just demoralizing defeats.
Yeah.
You look at UCLA, they lost 35-10 to New Mexico. And then you look
They
at
paid them $1.2 million to play against.
and then Virginia Tech. They were down 31-0 at one point to Old Dominion.
What?
So, yeah, both of these teams in very bad positions moving forward. Aiden, who's a guy that's on the hot seat for you that's around college football?
A guy that I want to talk about on the hot seat right now is a guy who just lost to Vanderbilt. It's never a good sign for our coach. Shane Beamer is on the hot seat at South Carolina. He's got a squad over there at South Carolina. Lenore Sellers at quarterback. We don't know. When's he coming back, Brandon? He's got a while out.
He may be coming back this weekend. He may be coming back this weekend against Missouri.
Okay, if this game against Missouri doesn't go good with a healthy Lenore Sellers, with all the pieces they have in place around him, Shane Beamer's career is in danger. He might be in contention for that Virginia Tech job if stuff doesn't go well for him here at South Carolina.
That would be a fitting spot for him, considering his dad.
His dad is the Virginia Tech football coach. So it would be a good spot for him to go and maybe regain his footing, because this South Carolina job, he's got the players at this point in time. It's just got to go out and win with them, and it's not happening yet.
Well, I mean, he lost to Vanderbilt, but I am going to say this is not your dad's Vanderbilt team that he grew up watching. This was not the Vanderbilt team that just had Jay Cutler, and that was the only notable player to ever come out of there. Hey. But I want to go a little bit west with my coach, and I'm going to talk about Mike Gundy over there at Oklahoma State. Ooh. Sad to see him fall, because he's a guy who always stood up for his players despite everything that's ever happened to him. And I think that now's the time. They didn't win a conference game last year at all, wound up finishing 0-9. And I think now, after that demoralizing defeat over there to Oregon, I think that Mike Gundy is for sure just going to wind up getting fired at the very end of the season.
I was going to say, you also got to look at this Mike Gundy situation. Before the season with Oklahoma State, he took a contract buyout. He had a reduced pay cut. So I feel like it's, as Boys to Men would say, it's coming to the end of the road for Mike Gundy and this Oklahoma State team.
The Stillwater Police Department is going to need to be on lookout, because we know that he's prone to drive with after 3 to 4 beers when things are going well. There's no telling what's going to happen after if he gets fired.
You know what? Maybe some of these guys we mentioned should just look at taking a break. And then speaking of a break, we're up against a song break now. We'll be right back here on the Playbook.
This season, everything changes. I'm the only one who came back, and honestly, I might regret it.
Josh Allen might just be the best athlete the NFL has ever seen.
Spencer Strider is an elite closer posing as an ace.
D Rose is the most overrated player of all time.
One vet, all new voices, hot takes, wild debates, and zero chill. Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket debuts this fall, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Ian's freestyle went big. But we're going to go bigger.
Dang, it's my first season. I feel like a star. I be dropping hot takes. I speak real bizarre. How many views we gonna get? I'd say about 1 mil. Out of Pocket Season 6. We got zero chill. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network.
Welcome to the Boring Sports Show. where we only bring the most boring sports takes.
Who are you? I am Hot Takes Man, and I defend the world from boring sports shows like yours. Another day's work for Hot Takes Man. Citizen, if you want to save yourself from boring sports content, then tune in to Sports Out of Pocket, Wednesdays from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Listen up, because I gotta tell you, Sports Pack is back and better than ever right here on Wolf Sports Network. Sports Pack is UWG's one-stop shop for all things sports. From hot takes to heated debates and even your best bets for the week, Sports Pack has you covered. So don't miss out on the fun. Catch us right here on Wolf Sports Network every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. See you there.
So we just got done talking about some coaches that were on the hot seat. But you know what keeps you off the hot seat? Winning games. And you know what all 6 of the teams that we cover in the Peach Slate did over the weekend?
What did they do, Brandon?
They won their college football game. And we are going to start right here in Carrollton. As Jackson, you were down there on the sidelines for this West Georgia game. Give me a little bit of insight of what happened here.
Well, West Georgia was on. They lead to a 3-0 record right now in the UAC. By the way, this is the most excited I've been for a West Georgia team since my very first year here. By the way, I'm a senior here, and I've been through 2 D2 seasons and 2 D1 seasons. So, I was here when Harrison Frost was the quarterback. By the way, shout out him. But, dude, West Georgia dominated ETSU. Now we had a lot of concerns about this game. By the way, Latrell Morrell, the top rusher in the UAC, probably is going to transfer out of here and go to a bigger name after here. But Latrell Morrell has over like 500 rushing yards in the first 3 games of the season, and then. Our defense has stayed locked down. One of the top defenses in the UAC, in my opinion, in the FCS. And obviously, we're still in a top 25 ranked team in the FCS. The only problem with this West Georgia team is Davin Widener and his turnovers. If we can get that locked down and get that centered, because we talked a lot about what the problem with the West Georgia team is, and that's just the quarterback play, quarterback situation. I love the run game. It's a phenomenal run game, from both Davin and Latrell and TJ Lester and all of our running backs there. But in EKU, Eastern Kentucky, we lost to them last season. And that's going to be a really tough, and a lot of people have said that this is a trap game. Even Coach Taylor himself said this was a trap game. And this is probably one of the toughest opponents we're going to have to face this season. So I like the hype off of West Georgia, and I'm very looking forward to this next game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this on Saturday, them taking on the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. And there was another team in the state that picked up their first home win this Saturday, and that was the Kennesaw State Owls. Joey.
Man, that game was amazing. If you didn't get the chance to watch it, you missed out because Kennesaw played their butts off. I mean, defense was amazing on both sides. So in the fact there wasn't a score put on the board until 4.5 minutes left in the second quarter. And then after that, Kennesaw went on a rampage, they went unanswered for 24 points until the fourth quarter, where Mermack was finally able to get on the board. Once on offense and once on defense. And then there was a shutout.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful game. Kennesaw deserved this win, and I'm very happy to say the Owls got a win this season.
And now we can only hope that head coach Jerry Mack in his first year is able to build that program into what it can be. But we have a guy who's down there in Statesboro who's also trying to build a winning program with Georgia Southern and Clay Helton. Aiden, tell me about how Georgia Southern did Saturday.
This was an unusual game, to say the least. This was a running the ball shootout. 41-34 final. Georgia Southern gets the win. Both teams over 200 yards rushing with 3 rushing touchdowns apiece. And it's not something you see often that teams go out there and put points on the board via the rushing attack. It was the defense that made the difference for Georgia Southern. They had, They had 7 tackles for loss and a kick return touchdown, special teams defense getting the job done in a running duel.
Now, who were some of the players that really stood out to you from this Georgia Southern offense and defense?
I mean, on the offense, you had O.J. Arnold go 16 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a
dog.
Yep, 8 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Beautiful stuff. Quarterback J.C. French, 16 for 24, 191, and a touchdown for him as well. Efficient day, got the job done.
So, yeah, I think Clay Helton got out of that game just what he was going into the game, wanted to try and get, because they are now sitting at 1-2 this season, picking up their first win and their first home win, trying to gain a little bit of momentum. And someone that's also looking to gain a little bit of momentum is head coach Dell McGee over there at Georgia State, who, when they brought him in, they were expecting big things from him, because obviously running game coach for Georgia on those 2 back-to-back national championship teams. But they finished just 3-9 last year. And I think that he got a much-needed win, and I think this was just good momentum for Georgia State all the way around the board. They got their offense going a little bit early. They got 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and I really just like how this offense looked for Georgia State. They still have a quarterback battle going on over there with T.J. Finley and Cameron Brown.
By the way, shout out Cam Brown. He's a former West Georgia quarterback. He actually transferred to Texas Tech, and now he's in the quarterback battle for Georgia State. So big ups to him.
And then another Georgia guy that transferred over there to Georgia State was Branson Robinson, the running back that played over there at Georgia. Had to battle through injuries, but he wound up having a pretty good game for the Panthers. And wide receiver Ted Hurst wound up with 10 catches, 176 yards, and wound up with 2 touchdowns. So I think for those teams, it's looking up over there for Georgia State. But perhaps one of the biggest things that happened in college football this weekend also happened in Atlanta. And that was the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets knocking off the Clemson Tigers at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Now, Aiden, I'm going to let you start with this one before I get all kinds of hyped up about it.
This was exactly the performance that you needed to see from Georgia Tech to believe that they are a legit football team. Basically shut down Cade Klubnik, except aside from one big play to Wesco, or was that his name?
Yeah.
Bryant Wesco? Yeah. Other than that one big play they gave up, the defense looked pretty much – the defense outclassed Clemson's offense all day for the most part. And on the other side of the ball, it's classic Georgia Tech football. Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, grind it out, get 4 yards of carry, run it down the field. It was pretty much unstoppable all day.
Yeah.
This Georgia Tech team looked very good. I'm very excited for.
And I do think something that gets lost in this is Georgia Tech. It was a really quality win, and we beat a really good opponent. But there's still things that we need to clean up on in this. Yeah. We still had 4 red zone trips in the first half where we walked away with just 13 points. Wound up that one drive where we didn't wind up with anything because we decided to go for it on 4th and 2. What was it? 4th and goal from the 2-3 yard line. Instead of trying to establish momentum early on in that game. And, I mean, it worked out well for them, but I think that going forward, those are things that just aren't going to cut it.
Yeah.
And against some of these really big, like, playoff contention teams. I think that Haynes King, as well as he runs the football, something that throws a lot of people off is the ability to throw the football. And they really put an emphasis on that early on in the game, to where there was a lot of play actions, and they let Haynes King roll out, and they let him just sling the ball down the field. Had big plays to Isaiah Canyon and Eric Rivers. So,
I did want to ask the 2 Georgia Tech fans, because I have a couple of other friends who are Georgia Tech fans, and they have conflicting opinions on the whole quarterback switch out, utilizing both Aaron Philo and both Haynes King. I want to know your personal opinions on that, because some say they love it. Some say that obviously Haynes King is going to be utilized for the big games throughout the season, and then some say that they should just stick with Haynes King.
I mean, I love it. I think Philo is the future of the program, and he needs these reps. And Haynes King is established. Haynes King doesn't need to go out there and take the snaps against Gardner-Webb as bad as Aaron Philo does.
Right.
Haynes King is not going to get much better playing against Gardner-Webb. Aaron Philo will. It's time for him to develop, and it really sets us up great for the future, I think, where there will be more familiarity next year with the offense when we go to Philo with the players already around him, knowing how to play with him.
So I do want to make one thing clear, and that is a quarterback one in Atlanta at Georgia Tech, and that's Haynes King. If Haynes King is healthy, I don't think Philo's going to come in any more games unless it's against like a Gardner-Webb or against a low-ranked team like that. But I think that exactly what Aiden said, it sets us up a little bit for the future for next year. So it gets Follow comfortable throwing the football. He had over 300 yards passing against Gardner-Webb. So it gets him his reps in, and it lets him kind of develop a little bit so that next year we're not on this big cliff. Because Haynes King is a huge part of this offense.
Yeah.
Massive.
So we don't fall off the edge of a cliff right here and just kind of like not know where we're going or what we're doing with not a guy in the driver's seat for next year.
No, I did. I was just asking that because, a lot of people had the conflicting opinions, especially because you talk about the future and you talk about next season with this Georgia Tech team, and, it's very highly contending. Your team's very highly contending for the ACC championship. So that's the only reason why I was asking, because you have other guys like Miami and Florida State, and y'all are in the top 3 in the mix right now.
Right.
So that was the only question upon that.
Yeah.
So now I do think that Georgia Tech, in my personal opinion, I think that me and Aiden, we may share conflicting opinions on it, but I think Georgia Tech right now is pretty much almost locked in a spot in that ACC championship.
I agree, yeah. The rest of the schedule is not tough.
And I would say Georgia Tech may be the actual best team in the ACC right now and has looked the best. So we're going to turn it to 2 guys that aren't Georgia Tech fans, and we're going to let you guys kind of give your opinions on that.
All right. It's not fair because I'm also a dude who has a team in the ACC. So,
Who's that team?
Who's that team?
SMU.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Southern
SMU.
Methodist guy.
I've never heard of an SMU fan, but okay.
Dude, you literally knew this about me.
ACC
we had this
title
talk.
contender.
But no,
But
I'm
anyway.
going to say SMU, although, yes, I'd love them. I know they're not going to be in the talk for it because SMU sucks at the end of the season. Georgia Tech, I definitely could see doing it, though. But I also could see other teams that come out in the shadows and just go crazy for it. I don't.
Yeah. Miami's
I
pretty
think
underrated.
that NC State and Louisville are 2 teams that people need to keep an eye on from in the shadows. But Jackson, you're over there looking at me like you're ready to chomp at the bit about
Look,
something.
So, we've talked a lot about this ACC on multiple shows, at the Tailgate Show, conversations outside of it. And I want to quote something that on the other show that I'm on, Sports Out of Pocket, that Grady Hamilton had said. I want to quote, he said, I don't personally agree with this, but shout out to him. He said that Clemson was and has been the ACC, which which is true.
Yeah.
But we're talking about FSU. We're talking about Miami. Miami's a phenomenal offensive power and defensive power. FSU is on the uprise, obviously taking a big turn from that 2-10 season. And then we talk about the whole thing about bringing in transfers and how well they've been doing, like Deuce Robinson, Squirrel White, and stuff like that. I want to ask you guys, what do you think Georgia Tech has to do to contend for a top 2 spot, and what makes you think that they're the best team in the ACC? Because we still have Miami out here. Carson Beck is probably the lead Heisman candidate outside of for quarterbacks wise.
Outside he's my
John
favorite to win
Mateer,
Heisman.
outside like John Mateer with Oklahoma. Like, what do you think differentiates your team and can compete with FSU and Miami? Like, what makes them different?
I think Georgia Tech is built entirely uniquely. It's a team we haven't. Haynes King is a quarterback we have not really ever seen before in college football. Since Cam Newton, maybe, where he can just you can give him the ball 20 times, get 100 yards, and he can throw for 200. That hasn't been. Who's the last quarterback that you can do that week in, week out, Jackson? You're looking at me crazy.
I'm looking at him.
I'm looking at more of a comparison to Jordan Lynch. That's who I think he reminds me more of over there at Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
From back those Northern Illinois 2014, 2015 teams with Jordan Lynch. The way that they use them.
My bad. I didn't think about that.
But I do think Georgia Tech right now, the thing that I think separates them from, especially Florida State right now, they've had to go through adversity. They've had to come from behind. They've had to play bad and then play good. Florida State's played good the whole entire season. They really haven't had to face adversity. They were in control of that Alabama game the whole entire time. And I do think it speaks a whole lot about them as a team for that game. But I think they're going to get their first taste of adversity next week when they go and they face Miami. And that's going to be a heck of a showdown, too, between Miami and Florida State next week. That's going to be one that I think one of those teams is for sure getting in the ACC championship, if not both of them. I think Georgia Tech takes one of those spots. And Georgia Tech's defense, I think, has came out and they've made a big statement in every game that they've made so far. So, me personally, I think Georgia Tech's that top team in the ACC. But we shift over to the SEC, still in state though, and we're going to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, who just solidified themselves as one of the front runners in the SEC. So, Jackson, tell me about this Georgia-Tennessee game. Like, kind of like what was your biggest takeaway from it?
Look, I was down there on the field. By the way, I want to talk about the ending of the game first before I get in my big takeaway. I was down there on the field with John Howley from Sports Pack and our operations manager, Michael Tucker. By the way, happy belated birthday to Michael Tucker, and he's a big Tennessee fan. We're down there on the team. We're down there on the field watching the Georgia and Tennessee game, and that late kick just saw the distraught of Tennessee fans. But the biggest takeaway, obviously, Tennessee was leading in the first quarter, 21-7, and it was a hard-fought battle between both teams, Georgia and Tennessee, offensively and defensively. But what truly came down to it was when Gunnar Stockton, I was watching that game, Gunnar Stockton hit London Humphreys on that late fourth quarter touchdown. Yeah, Georgia had it solidified. And then, obviously, the Tennessee kicker shaking in his boots. And, he's got to get that Cody Parkey treatment after that whole situation. But, hard-fought battle between both. Joey Aguilar did amazing out of Tennessee with 4 touchdowns, 371 passing yards. It was a really hard-fought battle, hard-fought game, and I truly enjoyed watching this matchup. I can't really say I enjoy watching my own team's matchup in the SEC, but, it was a great game to watch.
So now, do you think this solidifies Georgia as the top dog within the SEC? No pun intended right there. But do we think that Georgia's the top dog now with LSU, how they played against Florida?
I would say no, based on how Georgia opened this game out. First quarter, Tennessee looked like the best football team I've ever seen in my whole entire life. That team was – the way they were moving the ball against Georgia's defense was insane. Then Georgia settled in. They got back into it with some lesser play from Tennessee, less than stellar play. And they got back, they battled back, and they still won the game because Tennessee missed the field goal that they should have made to win the game. This team didn't deserve to win the game, in my opinion. They got outplayed in all facets of the game all day long. And they stole a win. The way that Georgia does. That's why I always hate Georgia. They're always stealing wins they don't deserve. Always getting bailed out. Makes me mad. And I was mad again watching this game, and I'm tired of it.
I don't know. I will say I don't think they got bailed out. I think that kickers miss field goals sometimes, okay? I was about to say, I think
Especially
this is
when
anything.
they play Georgia.
Josh Heupel, so they have the situation right there where they have to run the field goal unit on because he didn't call a timeout at the very end of that game. This was just horrible clock management by Josh Heupel, which is what that last field goal was. And then they panned over to that kicker, and I seen it. I seen the look in his eyes, and I knew that's a kid that's scared. Yeah. That's a kid that's nervous, that has 101,000 people in Knoxville watching him. And he wound up just not making that field goal, wound up redeeming himself, making that fild goal in overtime. But it was a little bit too late. And Georgia goes down there, they score a touchdown, and they wound up winning that game 44-41.
What was the score, Brandon?
44-41.
We're talking about top SEC contenders, and you're talking about Georgia giving up 41 points to Tennessee, and you have a team like LSU who could exploit that later on down the road.
Great point.
I don't think that they're a solidified SEC front runner, but I think they are definitely in the mix. I need to see a little more out of Georgia.
And see, on the other end of that, I don't think that you can count out Tennessee just yet. And
I agree.
We've been you do?
I agree.
You
don't count out this Tennessee team. This Tennessee team looked amazing at points.
Yeah.
They just didn't put the full game together. I think that's more on
the kicker.
I put this Josh Heupel did not continue this team. They didn't play with the same intensity they started out with throughout the game. And that does go back on the coaching staff to get the team, keep their energy levels the same throughout the game. Don't get too high, don't get too low. This Tennessee team was peaks and valleys all day long.
Got you. Now, for this next segment, I do want to stay in the state of Tennessee because there's a big city in Tennessee known for country music called Nashville. Now, Joey, you're a big country music fan. Tell me what your favorite country music artist is.
One of my favorite music artists, I got to go Toby Keith. Love him.
I do love me some Toby Keith. I do love Toby Keith. But you know who one of my favorite is?
What?
Johnny Cash. And he has a song called I Walk the Line. So, Aiden, let's get ready to walk the line, buddy.
There is no way Carson Beck is throwing for 240 this game.
Are you kidding me? This is a cakewalk for him. I'm hitting the over.
Walk the line.
So there are a few big games this weekend. If you don't know how Walk the Line goes, we're going to pick either a point spread or an over-under that we think is just absolutely ridiculous or just unjustified. And we are going to start. And Aiden, we're going to let you lead the way here. What's your choice of game?
My choice of game is 45.5 over/under for Iowa Rutgers. And this is ridiculous because it's about 10 points too high. Neither of these offenses have the ability to score 20 points against the other's defense. These are two tremendous defenses in Iowa and Rutgers. Greg Schiano, Kirk Ferentz, two of the best defensive minds in college football, match up against each other, and they got the line at 45.5. Give me a break.
I don't think any line for an Iowa game should be above 30.
That's right.
I don't trust anything above 30 for Iowa. I feel like we could just have a whole they could be on every single segment of Walk the Line if we really wanted them to.
So they're going by with,
Every single time we've talked about Iowa on the playbook, whether it's been in the off season or now during the season, it's been low scoring games.
Yeah.
We've been talking
that's
about
what Iowa
under 35.
does.
That's what it's been for the last 15 years.
I was going to say, welcome to Iowa the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to stay within the Big Ten right here, and I want to talk about this Nebraska-Michigan game where Michigan's a 1.5 favorite. But I really don't trust Michigan this year. I don't trust Bryce Underwood. I think he's Batman, you guys. And I think you add in the fact that Sharon Moore is just out for this game, and they are dealing with an interim coach. They're going up against Nebraska, who, in my opinion, Nebraska is one of the sleeper teams within the Big Ten, if not the entire country. I think that Nebraska can solidify themselves right here as a team that is in the mix to compete in the Big Ten, which is where they've been trying to get to ever since probably 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I think Nebraska, they've got a good running game, and I think they utilize that well. I know Michigan has a good
run defense.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of strengths right here. It's going to be a really good game. But I would take Nebraska outright in this game.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys some backstory on this game. This one is there's some rumblings that the loser of this game is going to have to forfeit the 1997 national title. the split between the two teams. That's what I've heard. And I really love Biff Poggi, the interim head coach. You brought up Sharon Moore not being at this game.
Yeah.
I like Biff Poggi more than Sharon Moore. Give me Michigan.
Don't get me
performs.
wrong, he has his place. I'd rather have him on a podcast.
He'd be great for that. He'd be great for that. Michigan performs for Biff Poggi. This guy knows how to get a team ready. He's calling his players superheroes in the press conferences after the game. There is nobody that Michigan wants to play for more than for Biff Poggi. I think he gets his guys ready. I think Michigan goes out and runs down Nebraska's throat and gets the win this weekend.
All right.
I'm going to look at three kind of takeaways from this matchup. You got Underwood's dual threat versus Nebraska's pass defense. Rushing attacks, Nebraska's passing attacks versus Michigan's secondary. And we saw with Bryce Underwood, he had a phenomenal debut, but that Oklahoma game kind of exploited him. It revealed some rough edges, especially with Bryce Underwood. And I know a lot of people had the whole conversation, is Bryce Underwood going to be the best freshman quarterback ever? Not just in a specific conference or his college, but ever coming out for his freshman year. I think it's too early to kind of have an opinion on Bryce Underwood. I don't like the fact that you say you don't necessarily see like the hype around him or like
He's
I think
literally
it's way
Batman.
It's too early. Hey, you've never seen Batman and Bryce
He looked
Underwood
awful against Oklahoma.
in the
Guys, he was on the road in Norman in his second ever start. Let's give it. Let it.
His second ever start. I feel like you're just
Now
a
for his
D1
fourth, he has to go
hater,
to Lincoln.
Brandon Dyer.
I don't know about
But,
that. I do go to West Georgia, so we are D1.
It's we're talking about comes from experience to obviously a quarterback who's in his first couple games in Division I football and obviously in Michigan. So I think the experience will take Nebraska, and I'm gonna over Michigan, and I think that Michigan's gonna take this one. I'm not taking.
Did you chat GPT 3 takeaways before you started
No, I
answering
did
that?
not.
Because
I
it
actually
really
I did
sounded.
So we are going to swap conferences, and we do have a Big 12 ACC interconference matchup between SMU and TCU. Joey, tell me a little bit about what you think is unjustified in this game.
So, okay. This is going to be the 104th meeting of these two teams in their rivalry.
I like
and this is going to – I don't see how there's only a 6.5 point – or how it's up to a 6.5 point spread between these two. with TCU having the 6.5-point favorite, I don't see it making it to that point. I think it will come down to an extra point attempt at the end of this game to seal the win.
I was about to say, I do think TCU, this is going to be a big game, TCU, SMU. And I think TCU, I trust them a little bit more than I do SMU right now. SMU, I don't trust their defense at all after what Baylor did to them.
Hold on, Joey. Just to clarify, it's going to come down to an extra point attempt, not a field goal or a
Extra point attempt.
game.
2 versus 1. 2-point conversion or 1?
All right, and that's not the only in-state game we have going on Saturday. Jackson, we go over to North Carolina, and we have NC State and Duke going up against each other. What do you think about that one, buddy?
You know, we talked about ACC the entire episode, by the way. But ACC, CJ Bailey comes down to NC State and Duke. I like both passing games from Duke. Darian Mensah has been one of the highlights for this Duke team. But NC State has looked phenomenal in their first 3 games. CJ Bailey, low interceptions, low turnovers, but very high when completion percentage. And Hollywood Smothers, by the way, phenomenal with the run game in NC State. So we're looking at this, and you're talking about covering the spread. I think NC State is going to mollywop Duke after watching Duke's performance against Illinois, man. But NC State could be a team to look out for in the ACC. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to make the ACC championship, but I think they're going to put I'd say a good 8 to 9 win season for NC State. So I'm going to have NC State covering the spread for this one.
Yeah, Duke is favored in this game by 2.5 points, even though they're 1-2 facing a 3-0 NC State team.
Yeah.
ESPN gives NC State the slight edge in the matchup predictor with a 50.3%.
Duke's pass defense worries me a little bit.
Duke's football team worries me a little bit. I don't think they're very good. They're not winning football games. It's a big problem. Now their passing game, they've thrown for 1,000 yards in 3 games. That's something you don't see very often.
Right.
Their quarterback out there has been balling.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see them getting it done against NC State. This is just a much better football team. I have no idea why Duke's favored, even if they're at home.
Now, I do think those 2 offenses are going to be pedal to the metal with no breaks. And speaking of breaks, I think it's time for us to go over to another song break.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, you are listening to The Playbook, your home for all things college football, only on Wolf Sports Network.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, Wolf Sports Network brings you the action you crave. Sports Pack is your all-access pass to the Wolves athletics. From football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and volleyball, and more. If the pack plays, we cover it. Passion, pride, pack. Don't miss Sports Pack.
Every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack is back.
West Georgia's one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether it's UWG, NFL, NBA, or MLB, we've got you covered on all fronts right here on Sports Pack.
Mondays and Thursdays at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Welcome aboard to Sports Out of Pocket Airlines, your nonstop flight to the highs and lows of the sports world. This is your Captain Jackson Vole speaking, and this is Flight Path, where we chart every climb and dive. Teams taking off to championship skies, and players hitting unexpected turbulence. Buckle up, sports fans, and fasten those seatbelts, because when the whistle blows, we're cleared for takeoff. Listen to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Out of Pocket has a brand new showtime.
Yeah.
But what time is it at?
I don't know.
It's not 5 to 6.
Uh-uh.
It's not 7 to 8.
Uh-uh.
It's 6, 7.
Wolf Sports Network.
All right, so one of my favorite college football traditions growing up was at the end of college game day, whenever they went around, made their game day picks. So I think that we have our own version of that, Playbook picks. So let's get that started.
meeny, miny, mo. Playbook picks.
And the first game that we are going to talk about today on Playbook Picks is going to be this Miami and Florida game. We're going to go around the board. Aiden, what do you think about this game?
Florida.
That's it.
I don't. Oh wait, no, Miami. Oh God.
What?
Whoa! Don't lock that in, guys. I'm at Miami. Sorry, Miami. No comment.
Yep.
Okay.
Fifth minute right.
You know, Aiden, you almost convinced me otherwise.
Jackson.
Miami. Carson Beck has been doing phenomenal, and Florida has not shown me anything to prove anything. Just anything.
Joey.
Miami. I'm not picking the Gators.
I think it's a chance for Florida to really redeem themselves after a more than disappointing start to the season. But I think that gets way more disappointing as they lose down there to Miami. And moving over to the Big 12, we have Arizona State and Baylor.
This Baylor team has surprised me so far this year. I thought they were absolutely terrible. Arizona State hasn't surprised me. I thought they were going to be down. Give me Baylor. I like them this year.
Baylor, by the way, Baylor's favored by a small number, 2.5, but ASU has strength. I mean, a lot of people look at the run game. Like, that's a huge issue with the loss of Cam Scatterbo and Baylor's defense. Baylor's run defense is not – Baylor's defense in general is not good. But I'm going to take Arizona State slightly by, like, a touchdown.
I also have Arizona State in this matchup.
Jordan Tyson, bro.
I think the winner of this game could very well be in the Big 12 championship, and I trust what I'm seeing out of Baylor and Sawyer Robinson more than I am over there at what's going on in Arizona State.
And down Waco.
We go over to Missouri and South Carolina. Aiden.
I gave my thoughts on Shane Beamer earlier in the show. I don't think that he's got the boys playing right. Give me Missouri. Give me Eli Drinkwitz, who I love. Give me Bo Pribula, who I'm sure Jackson Bowles would love to talk about.
Eeny, meeny, miny, Bo Pribula. By the way, phenomenal Heisman
contender.
Ahmad Hardy, Heisman candidate. Mizzou's offense has looked phenomenal. Their defense is still a little shaky, but it doesn't matter if Lenora Sellers or Luke Doty's in for South Carolina.
That's right.
Mizzou is going to steamroll them Gamecocks and crush.
I've heard they're thinking about splitting the Heisman 11 ways for all of Missouri's offense.
By Ahmad Hardy and Bo Pribula.
All right, Joey.
I also have Missouri in this one. I don't see South Carolina walking out with the win.
I'm glad you finally gave love to Ahmad Hardy, who has 462 rushing yards.
I gave love to Ahmad Hardy.
It's all Bo Pribula.
The shambles are going to be over there in South Carolina for a little bit, for a few weeks, while they figure out this Lenore Sellers situation. I think Missouri capitalizes on the opportunity. Missouri winds up winning right here. And then a matchup that's normally reserved for basketball when you think of it. But Illinois and Indiana both ranked. Aiden, what do you think about this?
I love it. This is my brand of football right here. Kurt Signetti, Brett Bielema, two of my favorite coaches in college football. I give me Brett Bielema leading his boys, the Fighting Illini, over Coach Sig.
It's gonna be very, very tight. I love Fernando Mendoza. I love Luke Altmaier. By the way, Fernando Mendoza, and you were talking about it on season 1 of the Playbook of Fernando Mendoza being a really key guy in the transfer portal. And I think Aiden hit it right on the nose. Also, you got to look. Illinois' defense is missing their star cornerback, Xavier Scott, and I think that could come down to crucial moments. So let me go with Indiana by a field goal.
All right.
Okay.
I have Illinois by a field goal, so there's that.
I would not have thought that this was going to be a top 20 matchup heading into the season. Like, I like both of these teams, but I just didn't think that they were going to. And again, I like Kurt Signetti a whole lot more than I do Illinois over there and Brett Bielema.
Give me
the Hoosiers.
Awesome.
Give me the Hoosiers. And then a high-stakes Big 12 game. Texas Tech and Utah could wind up being the game of the week. What do we think of that one?
Give me Utah, dude. This is a toss-up game. These are the two best teams in the Big 12 by a country mile. They'll probably play again later in the Big 12 title game. I'll take Utah in this one.
It's going to be really, really close. Whoever wins this is making the Big 12 championship. I'm going to say that first. Devin Dampierre has looked phenomenal. First dual threat quarterback for Utah since Tyler Huntley. I haven't been this excited about a Utah quarterback since Tyler Huntley back in COVID year. And then Texas Tech has also looked phenomenal on the uprise based on A not so stellar season last season, but it's going to be really close. Give me Utah Utes.
You know what? No, I think it's also going to be Utah. I can't see Texas Tech with this one.
So you mentioned getting excited about a Utah quarterback. I got excited about a Utah quarterback back in 2010 by the name of Cam Rising. That's how long he was a starting quarterback over there at Utah.
You went to high school with him.
But no, I think that I trust Texas Tech more in this moment. I like a whole lot of stuff that they're doing over there. And give me Texas Tech on a last-second field goal. And last but not least, we have the first of 3 games that I am dubbing the Independence County Triangle, which consists of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Auburn. Independence County, Arkansas is the midpoint of all 3 of those teams. So that's given the name of it. We have the first matchup of it this weekend. Aiden, we have Oklahoma, Auburn. What do you think?
I want Oklahoma. This Oklahoma team has looked very good this year, led by Brent Venables out there. Give me Oklahoma to continue their momentum.
Jackson Arnold makes his return to Oklahoma. Do I think he's going to get his revenge and win? No. John Mateer is going to Boomer Sooner all over the Auburn Tigers.
All right. Joey?
You know what? I'm going to go with Auburn.
All right, I think Auburn's offense is super explosive. I think they have one of the best wide receiver duos in the entire country, and Eric Singleton Jr.
You're only saying that as a Georgia Tech bias.
And Cam Coleman. I am not saying that as a Georgia Tech bias. I love both of those receivers. I love Cam Coleman almost as much as I love Eric Singleton Jr. But I think Auburn fans, you're going to want to go. You want to stop by the nearest Dollar General because I know y'all have a lot of them over there in Alabama. Pick up a whole lot of toilet paper because you guys are going to be rolling Toomer's Corner come Saturday night when you guys beat the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, there's been a few campus legends come out of Oklahoma. Brian Bosworth, Baker Mayfield, Adrian Peterson.
Sam Bradford.
So, Aiden, let's talk about some campus legends.
Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Reggie Bush, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel. What do these guys have in common? All these players know what it's like to be a campus legend.
That is right. It is time for our signature segment of the show. And we are going to start it off today with me and my campus legend, who is a running back from Miami.
Oh, you're just going to go first.
Okay.
First. Running back from Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless someone wanted to guess it on Miami.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, I am.
No, Aiden is writing down someone.
I know Brandon Dyer very well.
He was the 65th pick in the 2005 NFL Draft.
Yeah, I could.
Keep going.
Still don't have anybody? All right.
Keep going.
Played from 2005 to 2022.
Oh.
I think you were a year off, Aiden. Still don't have any kind of answer. Joey?
I'm locked in.
No, I don't.
All right. He played for the 49ers, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets.
Yep. I'm locked in for 2.
I shouldn't have went for 4. I could have got this if I listened to
All right. Can I throw it up? Can we throw it up?
All right. Throw up your boards. Let's see who we got. It is Jackson is right. It is Frank Gore. Joey, who did you have?
God.
You didn't write down a guess.
No, I don't feel like
I had
All right,
Clinton.
who's going to go next?
All right,
Clinton
Jackson,
Portis
you're going to
right
be
there.
the next one on the board right here.
Here, take this. My first Oregon State running back.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to lock in.
An Oregon State running back.
I'm going to lock in right here.
You're doing the position I don't know about.
You don't know running back?
No, I don't know running backs very well.
An Oregon State running back. All right.
Are we going to count off for spelling?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because I'm not an English major, so I don't feel like we should.
2000. All right. 2004 NFL Draft, 24th overall.
Oh, no. I got that really wrong.
You go for Jamias Griffin?
Anybody?
No.
Okay, that's not
All right.
Oregon State
He
running back I
played
know.
from 2004 to 2015.
Nope.
And then he played for the Rams, the Falcons, and the Patriots.
I do believe I know this, but I did not know
Falcons
that he
and the
went.
Patriots.
Did not know that he went to Oregon State.
I was thinking of another Oregon State running back that happened to play for the Falcons at one point.
Yeah, I don't think I have that.
Throw
Are
up
we
the
ready?
boards.
Nope.
You don't have a guess, Joey?
I had Jaquez
Zach
Rogers.
Stacy. It's not Zach
Nope.
Stacy.
Steven Jackson.
Steve. I got confused. Steven
Yeah.
Jackson. Yeah, hand up.
Yeah, here.
I remember how
All right,
awful
Joey,
he was
you'll
on
be
the
the next
Falcons
up with
when we
yours.
signed him.
All right. We have Texas A&M.
All right. I almost went
go,
that way.
Go position.
I almost went that
Tight
way
end.
this morning.
A tight
end.
Texas
from
A&M
Texas
tight
A&M.
end. Yeah, I don't know.
I am
Keep
not
going.
fond of too many tight ends
Keep going.
that's come out of Texas A&M.
79th overall of the 1999 draft.
And this guy,
1999 draft.
I got to guess.
you got to guess? I don't know.
Not good with Texas
What
A&M
did
tight
he
ends.
play? What did he play from?
I have no idea where this guy got drafted or where he went to college at. But I'm going to put down a guess right
Okay,
here
hold
that
on,
I
hold
feel like
Yep, I'm the same way.
could.
All right. What years did he play?
1999 to 2009.
I feel good about this guess now.
I don't feel good about my guess at all either.
All right. Give me the teams because I want to lock down for one.
Giants, Cowboys, Lions, Saints.
Nope, that's absolutely. Oh, okay, I know who it is now.
I
Now
know
that I
who it
hear the
is.
freaking teams,
I know who it is.
I should have held out, y'all.
Wait, what were the teams? I didn't hear the teams.
Oh,
That's okay.
it is
Panthers.
Giants, Cowboys, Lions, Saints.
All right. Can we throw it up?
You are all wrong.
Dallas
I had
Clark.
Antonio Gates.
Who'd you have?
Jeremy
Shockey. Okay, who was it?
Dan Campbell.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun. You know what, Joey? That was a good one. That was
was a
fun
good one.
stuff.
All right.
I
And the
should've
final
got-
person.
Lions fan.
We have one more over here.
All right. My player went to the University of Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
I might have to lock. Nah.
He played quarterback.
Oh, that's
I'm still not gonna do that.
Yeah, there's been a few good Oklahoma quarterbacks come through.
Yeah, there's been too many.
This man was drafted 177th overall in the 6th round of the 2001 NFL Draft.
Oh, I think I know the name. I think.
How do I spell that?
How do I think I know the name.
All right. Just keep going. Brandon's locking in.
He played one season, 2001, for the Miami Dolphins.
Keep
I
going.
know who this is.
That's what do you mean? Keep going. That's the last
Oh,
hint.
2001 for the
last
Miami
hint
Dolphins.
right there.
How the hell do I spell his last name? Uh-oh.
The guy
This
that I'm
is-
thinking of has a very short, very pretty, easy to spell last name.
I don't know where to start.
This is not going to be right, but I'm still going to throw it down.
It's a bad thing. Jackson's going so far into left field, it ain't gonna be right at all.
It's not going to be right.
One more hint, just for fun. This is just to help you guys out. This guy finished second in Heisman voting in 2000.
I think I got this.
Oh my God!
I do think
Hold
I
on.
got this.
No, you.
No, he already locked
you locked
in.
No, I know who this is. Oh, this
You
makes
can't
me
use
so
the
mad.
eraser now.
Okay, hold on. Can I give my guess? And I'm wrong.
Yeah,
But my guess was Brian Greasy, but is it Jason White?
No, you're 0 for 2.
Damn.
Oh, Jason White. Oh, okay.
Joey, you got your guess?
I say I only have his first name with Pat, so that doesn't help me. That probably doesn't help.
That's also incorrect. It's
Well,
not
crap.
Pat.
Brandon?
I had Pat.
They got the wrong Pat.
The correct answer.
Pat White.
The correct answer. We said his name on today's show multiple times. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel.
Wow.
I didn't know he went there.
Okay.
Okay.
Didn't know he was
All
back
right.
there.
So
that's
we have
my bad.
2 minutes left today, boys. Tell me what the thing you're going to be looking at the most Saturday is. What's most exciting to you about Saturday?
Okay, I'll take this one. What's going to be what I'm most looking forward to this Saturday, as always on a college football weekend, is Georgia Tech. Even though they are only playing Temple, I want to beat the crap out of Temple for giving us Jeff Collins. This is a big revenge game for me and just me only, probably.
The West Georgia Wolves facing the EKU Colonels.
There you go.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
About the same, yeah. Can't wait to be on the sideline for the West Georgia game.
Me, I am going to
This
be
is epic.
glued to this Utah-Texas Tech game. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Big 12
and
football.
Winner of this game gets a spot in the Big 12. But that is all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for tuning in, and be sure to tune in Monday for Sports Pack from 6 to 7, and then tune in Wednesday
From
for
when?
Sports Out of Pocket from 6 to 7.